Welcome to Tales of Honor, a podcast with a mission to tell the true stories of every recipient of our nation's highest military award, the Medal of Honor. Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode of Tales of Honor podcast. This is episode number 615, continuing on with recipients who are currently living, mostly from Vietnam War. And I do have one birthday for today. It actually is today, April 30th, 1946. This birthday belongs to Mr. James McClellan, who is a former U.S. Army Specialist 5th Class that earned the Medal of Honor for his actions during the Vietnam War. He received the Medal of Honor back in 2017 from President Trump, and I did cover his story back on episode number 154, so there will be a link in the show notes for you to go listen to the story. But a very happy 77th birthday to Mr. McClellan. Today's recipient has two books that I will have linked in the show notes for you to go buy and check out and read. So that is all I have for today. Let's get right on into today's Tale of Honor. Jack was born on the 2nd of August 1945 in Brooklyn, New York, and his family were Jewish with ancestry from Greece, Poland, and Romania. His father had been drafted into the Army during World War II and served in the Pacific Theater. The family moved from Queens to Woodbridge, New Jersey when Jack was about 10 years old, and he attended and graduated from Woodbridge High School in 1962. He then attended Rutgers University and was a member of the Army Reserve Officer Training Corps. Graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in 1966, Jack was commissioned as a second lieutenant and about a year later would deploy to the Republic of Vietnam for the first time. Instead of deploying with the 82nd Airborne with the infantry unit that he wanted to serve with, Jack was told that he was going as an advisor purely because he had a college degree. It was his actions on the 9th of March, 1968 that would later earn him the Medal of Honor. The citation reads,
Captain Jack H. Jacobs. The President of the United States of America, authorized by Act of Congress, March 3, 1863, has awarded in the name of the Congress the Medal of Honor to Captain Jack H. Jacobs, United States Army, for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in action at the risk of his life, above and beyond the call of duty. Captain Jack H. Jacobs, Infantry, distinguished himself on March 9, 1968, while serving as an Assistant Battalion Advisor, 2nd Battalion, 16th Infantry, 9th Infantry Division of the Army of the Republic of Vietnam. The 2nd Battalion was advancing to contact when it came under intense heavy machine gun and mortar fire from a Viet Cong battalion positioned in well-fortified bunkers. As the 2nd Battalion deployed into attack formation, its advance was halted by devastating fire. Captain Jacobs called for and directed airstrikes on the enemy positions to facilitate a renewed attack. Due to the intensity of the enemy fire and heavy casualties to the command group of the lead company, including the company commander, the attack stopped and the friendly troops became disorganized. Although wounded, Captain Jacobs assumed command of the Allied company, ordered a withdrawal from the exposed position, and established a defensive perimeter. Despite profuse bleeding from head wounds, which impaired his vision, Captain Jacobs returned under intense fire to evacuate a seriously wounded advisor to safety, where he administered life-saving first aid. He then returned through heavy fire to evacuate the wounded company commander. Captain Jacobs made repeated trips across the fire-swept open rice paddies, evacuating wounded. On 3 separate occasions, Captain Jacobs drove off Viet Cong squads who were searching for Allied wounded and weapons, single-handedly killing 3 and wounding several others. His gallant actions and extraordinary heroism saved the lives of 1 United States advisor and 13 Allied soldiers. Through his effort, the Allied company was restored to an effective fighting unit. Captain Jacobs, by his conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in action in the highest traditions of the military service, has reflected great credit upon himself, his unit, and the United States Army.
Jack received the Medal of Honor on the 9th of October 1969 along with 3 others from President Nixon in an outdoor ceremony at the White House. He remained in the Army, returning to Vietnam in a combat role, which wasn't allowed, through what Jack admits involved some deception. Jack also taught international relations and comparative politics at the U.S. Military Academy from 1973 to 1976, as well as at the National War College in Washington, D.C. Jack ended his time in the Army in 1987, retiring at the rank of colonel. Jack married Sue, with whom they had a daughter and 2 sons, and after the Army, he began a career in the financial field. In 2008, his memoir, If Not Now, When? Duty and Sacrifice in America's Time of Need, was published and was followed by another book in 2012, Basic: Surviving Boot Camp and Basic Training, which is a history of American military basic training. In 2009, Jack appeared on the Colbert Report's Doom Bunker segment, where he and Stephen Moore from the Wall Street Journal were given 3 obscure end-of-the-world scenarios to comment on. Here is just a part of what that segment sounded like.
Joining me now to discuss the hypothetical death of all we love is retired Colonel Jack Jacobs and Stephen Moore, who writes for the Wall Street Journal. Now, Colonel, you are clearly the person to talk to about this because you are a veteran, a Medal of Honor winner, and a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. Scenario 2. The year is 2014. The Dow Jones is trading under 250 points. The koala pox epidemic has wiped out all the world's livestock, and instead of money, our currency is soybeans. Colonel, I couldn't share this information with Mr. Moore before for security reasons. But in this scenario, we also have a werewolf Congress. Okay. How freaked out would you be?
Stephen, Werewolf's a movie. There are no werewolves.
I know there are no werewolves, okay? In this case, I'm just talking about like one got into Congress and started biting people.
Only one.
Only one, but you know how werewolves work, right? You bite one and it spreads.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just say, for the sake of argument, sir, never going to happen.
No.
How would the Army fight a werewolf Congress? Silver bullets?
Silver bullets wouldn't work, but there are no... Stephen,
why wouldn't silver bullets work?
Because there are no werewolves, Stephen.
But if there are werewolves, wouldn't you use a silver bullet?
No silver bullets, no werewolves, Stephen. No.
Okay, that's a good point. No silver bullets.
Jack Howard Jacobs is 77 years old at the time of this recording. He still lives in New Jersey and is a military analyst for MSNBC. And that was a Tale of Honor. Thank you for listening to Tales of Honor, and if you enjoyed the show, please be sure to subscribe and tell your friends and family. Tales of Honor is written and produced by Christoph Ambrosch, and theme music is Loyalty and Duty by Floruz Music. If you have any questions, you can send an email to talesofhonorpodcast@gmail.com, and please be sure to visit talesofhonorpodcast.com for more episodes and information.